Hi, everybody. This is Mother D. This is the live broadcast here at Shantivilla Institute at the Shantivilla Atlanta location. We're starting a little bit early because Agnihotra is at 5:57. So I am doing Agnihotra here, and then the talk starts promptly at 6 p.m. So you'll be joining us for Agnihotra this evening. So, and we're at the Conyers location, which is our Atlanta location. Our main location is in Tuskegee, Alabama. So I'm going to go ahead and share to a page real quick before we have to get started here to do Agnihotra. So let me get started. Let me make sure that everything is live here. I did not see it here on the Facebook page. Let me refresh. And let me see if I missed something. So come on in, everybody. We're going to do evening Agnihotra, and then the talk starts at 6 p.m. Okay, so everything is working. Let me just share to a couple of quick pages because I didn't realize when scheduling the time that it was so close to Agnihotra time. So I'm going to share to 2 pages real quick, but you'll be joining me for Agnihotra, okay? So bear with me. Welcome in, everybody. You're with Mother D at Shantivilla Institute, our Facebook live stream. And we'll be doing evening Agnihotra followed by 6 p.m. talk. And the talk is about imperfection in a perfect society. We'll be discussing Agnihotra and how that relates to the topic. So let me share it to one more page, and then we're going to get ready for Agnihotra. We're here 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here, Central Time 5 p.m. Okay, well, for the scheduled talk. So we're going to do Agnihotra here in a minute. I'm sharing to the main pages here. Wherever you are, whether you have an Agnihotra pyramid, you can join. Just close your eyes. And then I'll explain about the Agnihotra process for anyone that is not familiar, okay? So anyway, I just posted to our Shantivilla Atlanta page. And you probably are viewing this on Shantivilla Institute's page and my personal page, D. Dones Davis, okay? So here we go. We're getting ready. Okay, here. So I already have everything prepped. This is not Agnihotra. This is the regular fire that we burn. And, we normally start with the Viruti mantra. So let me get that going. But now I'm preparing, for Agnihotra. Which this is dried cow dung that is smeared with ghee. So anyone that is looking to see how you actually do this, because this is sunset that I'm getting ready to do. And then I'm going to light the match here in a minute. Let me just double check the time. So we're going to do Agnihotra and then get into the talk, okay? So this is not Agnihotra, this is Viruti mantra. This is how we normally start the talk. So I'm double checking the time because I like to do Agnihotra exactly at sunrise and exactly at sunset. So it's at 5:57. So, and then we'll start at the talk at 6 p.m., okay? So everybody, thank you for joining. We're live here with Mother D at Shantivilla Institute at the Conyers, Georgia location. Our main location is in Tuskegee, Alabama. So in a minute here, I'm going to burn. Let me look at, I'm looking for my glasses, which I cannot find. I'm always looking for glasses. Oh, here they are right here. Yeah, sometimes I cannot see. I had to wear my reading glasses. Okay, 5:53. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and light the cow dung. It's already spread with ghee. And then we'll say a Sanskrit mantra. And then you get brown rice and you throw it in there. That's for your offering every time you hear me say swaha. So now I'm lighting, preparing for Agnihotra. So you build the fire up. So now I'm adding ghee to it. Can everybody see I'm adding ghee? So you want to build the fire up. You want to have a sizable flame. Okay. Want to have a sizable flame, okay? That's what I'm doing now. I'm building the flame up, everybody. So here's my brown rice. We use brown rice. It can be basmati or long grain brown rice. But it needs to be brown rice, okay? Brown rice. So we have about 2 minutes to Agnihotra. Let me pay attention to the time because it needs to be done precisely at sunrise and at sunset. So the sunset mantra is a separate mantra, okay? Sunrise is a different one, but it's all Sanskrit. High vibratory language that everybody across the world uses that language, the Sanskrit language, okay? Okay. So it's 5:55. We have 2 more minutes. So I'm just going to feed the other Varuti fire, which I will say that mantra after Agnihotra. You do not do the Varuti mantra at the same time, but you can have the fire going. Okay, so now we have a sizable fire. And usually after we say the Sanskrit mantra at sunset, then we sit still until the fire goes out. But this fire is kind of big. So we won't sit there because I can sit there for 15, 20 minutes and do it, you know, be silent and all kind of things. But we're going to start it at 6 o'clock, right? For the time for the talk. It's just that I'm doing Agnihotra now with everybody here. It's because it's so close to 6 o'clock. And this is good. I've done this before. It's been a while since I've done Agnihotra with everybody to see it, okay? So let me put a little bit of ghee into the rice. And normally you do this with your right hand, okay? You do this with your right hand. So normally we don't say that, but we're saying it now as we explain it. You do everything is done with the right hand. Sometimes you'll see me arrange the thing with both hands because I'm not using the tongs, but you're supposed to do everything with your right hand. Okay, so now it's Agnihotra time. So here we go. Agnaye swaha. Agnaye ram namama prajapataye swaha. Prajapataye idam namama. Okay, so that is the Agnihotra process. So normally we just sit here and wait until the fire goes out. But because the talk is starting in 3 minutes, I'm cutting this short, and this is why this is going like this, okay? So I just wanted to say that in case somebody is coming on, like, what is happening? We just got through performing Agnihotra, and we normally sit in silence until the fire goes out, but we're starting to talk at 6 p.m. Like I said, I didn't realize until after I'd already scheduled the time at 6 p.m. that Agnihotra was at 5:57. But it's okay. It's good for everybody to do this. So a little smoky here. Let's do that. You know, no smoke right there. So you can do this outdoors or indoors. Okay. Just do that. So there is a little smoky. Okay, so coming in, everybody. We are live here at Shantivilla Institute. This is Mother D, and we're at the Conyers, Georgia location. Tonight's talk is Imperfection in a Perfect Society. Okay, and we're going to talk about Agnihotra and how this relates to the topic. Is very relatable for sure. Okay. So at 6 p.m., I'll go ahead and do the Viruti mantra and we can start, okay? So the Agnihotra pyramid is still lit, okay? And then we're going to do Viruti here, and it's 6 p.m. So now we can get started. Yay! Thanks for joining us this evening at Shantivilla Institute. And now we can start our talk about imperfection in a perfect society. So let's start with the Viruti mantra. Vu swaha Agnihotra namama swaha Vayaveda namah swaha Sayaya namama Bhurva swaha Prajapatiye idam namama. Okay, so for those that are not familiar with Agnihotra, we always like to explain what it is. Agnihotra is an Ayurvedic process that we perform at sunrise and sunset, and it's tied to the circadian rhythm of nature. So there's energies and ethers and electricities that cascade upon the planet at sunrise. So when we perform Agnihotra, as you've just viewed, there is a interaction of the solar system and the sun between the pyramid, and there's a burst of nutrients that go into the atmosphere that go 8 miles up, 2-mile radius. So it kills the pathogenic bacteria, it clears the water, restores the soil, and most importantly, because we are part of the process, so it's equally as important actually, is that it purifies the performer of Agnihotra and anyone that's nearby. So this is a very powerful way for us to deal with climate change and pollution, okay? And this is something that has been taught all over the world by many people, not just here at Shantivilla Institute. So we're here to say that everyone can perform Agnihotra. It doesn't make a difference what faith you have. This is not about religion or race or whatever organization you're part of. This is about us all working together harmoniously to help with the climate change and pollution issue. And that is because the pollution issue that we have created, it has also caused a lot of problem with our behaviors, okay? As human beings, you know, when we mess up the planet, our Mother Earth, we're messing up with our minds when we have the thought pollution, because we already have atmospheric pollution, okay? We have this inclement weather. We have all of these storms. We've messed up the soil. We have all these wildfires, and we mismanaged the land. And so we have to bring about a balance, and that is why we do Agnihotra. So in clearing up all these things that we've done to our Mother Earth, you know, God did not really want us to do that, okay? We thought we're going to tamper with this nature because we think we can make nature more perfect. And you know that's arrogant. That is not true. And so now we have all these things happening, not only with the climate change and the weather and things like that, but with ourselves as human beings. Our thoughts are erratic. We're violent. We do all these things. We wonder all the headlines on the news is because there is thought pollution. Because when we vibrate with love, the universe and the earth, everything rejoices and it feeds off of that. Because remember, earth is an organism and it thrives on vibrations. Okay. So as humans, we are the caretakers. So our vibrations have to be high. And the highest form of vibration is love. Okay. So remember, when we are doing Agnihotra, we are talking about restoring the balance to nature, restoring what already is perfect that we tampered with. Okay. So remember, we're tampering with nature anyway, which is why we're having all these problems. When we perform Agnihotra, we're saying, hey, nature, we're putting you back in balance. I love you. We're giving Mother Earth a big hug. We're hugging all the trees and the plants, and we're telling all the animals that are being misplaced and ones that are near going extinct, I love you. I'm sorry. I'm repairing you. That's what we're doing. Okay. And then as we are getting back to this balance, this getting back to perfection, because remember, we cannot perfect nature that was created already perfect. We're arrogant when we think that. Okay. So when we're performing Agnihotra, and they have scientific studies on Google Scholar that prove that it cleanses the pathogenic bacteria and it restores soil. When we do farming with the Agnihotra ash, which is the byproduct of soil of Agnihotra. Let me show you what it looks like, the ash. Oops. This is what it looks like. This is ash. Let me put it in my hand. This is, oops, my ring light fell over. Okay, because usually the light's not looking so good. So the light looks good. Let's not mess with the ring light. You can actually see me. So this is, can you see it? This is the ash. So when this cools off, the Agnihotra pyramid here, this is the result. So you've made some Ayurvedic medicine. Do you hear me? Can you see? This is Ayurvedic medicine. You can use this to farm. And in farming, it's called homa farming, homa therapy. Okay? You're restoring the soil. The worms are doing somersaults like, yes, we got some Agnihotra ash in here. Okay, people put it on their skin, they ingest it. It's healing. So all kind of ailments, okay? And people that do Agnihotra, that have PTSD, mood disorders, autistic children that are violent, all these things, it helps with stress. So doing Agnihotra, you're putting yourself back into the perfection that you already are. Your thoughts are clear, you're happier, you're not fighting with your family. So we're talking about bringing back the balance to nature and then bringing balance to yourself, because we are perfect. Nature is already perfect if we don't tamper with it, and we're already perfect if we don't tamper with ourselves. Do you understand me, everybody? Okay? So now you can understand where we are going with this topic, okay? When we talk about being imperfect in a perfect society. Because you're probably wondering, like, where is she going with this? So where we are going is very specific. Okay. Okay, society is built upon telling us in many different ways that we're not perfect. Okay, you need to get this shampoo because your hair is too frizzy. You don't want to go to work with your hair looking like this. That's not perfect. You need to look a certain way. Your breast or your backside need to look a certain way. You need to have perfect teeth. Wait a minute, you look your age. How old are you? Oh my God, you're 60, 70, and you look your age. No, that's not perfect. Okay, so those are some examples there. Let's go on to the workplace. So if you work in a job that is high stress, and there you are a salesman or a saleswoman, and you have to produce these leads that produce, then that builds to this workplace stress. Like, oh my God, I cannot survive unless I have so many sales. You have to do this perfectly, or you cannot keep that job. Okay, and even for our people that are doing fast food, you can't have somebody slow at the register and they're moving too slow. You got to move fast. So everybody has to perform and produce. Okay. You got to be perfect. Okay. So even in our private lives, okay, because really you don't want to separate private life and public life or your work life, because it's life in general. Okay. You want to be congruent with what you do at home and what you do at work, what you do when you're with your friends or wherever. So in let me get this, keep this going here with the fire. So private life, we have to be the perfect spouse. We have to be the perfect child. You got to get perfect grades. Okay, we have to get these grades so we can go to the perfect college. So there we go again, society telling us you're not perfect in that way. And God forbid, if you're not the perfect parent, you dare not make a mistake. Okay, so these are the things. And of course, we're not talking about parents that, you know, that are, they need to get help if they're abusing. We're talking about just the missteps that you make as a human being, raising another human being. Okay, so there's this pressure to be perfect in everything as opposed to letting things flow, and whatever missteps we make, that is the life's journey. We stumble around until we have a better understanding. Okay, we go to the path, and the path curves here, it curves there, but it's still the path. It's not about being perfect and being so rigid. The Creator's not that way. So now we're getting deeper beyond the grades and the job and your child. Oh, your child has to be perfect with the grades for them to be a good child and all this stuff. It's just serious because we know about the suicide with the children. And we have to stop putting that pressure on our children. Okay, they're precious. They're diamonds, just like we all are diamonds. So now we are getting into, okay, so you got to have this big, perfect house, big, perfect car. So now we're digging into consumerism. So a lot of the consumerism is based on buying this and that. So that way we can be happy and be perfect. Okay, so now you understand that most consumerism is misguided. Because if you have to be in debt, okay, to be happy, whoo, I mean, what about if you don't have a credit card or something like that? What about those people? So they're not going to be happy because they don't have the credit card. They don't have the money to spend to be happy. Think about that. Does that make sense? Okay. Now you can live whatever way you want to live, but we're just pointing to the natural way, the ancient way, as taught in yogic traditions. Okay, there's nothing to do, like we said, about what faith you have, where you live in the world. You can live in a big house, a small house, a tiny house, live in a village, okay, in Kenya or Czechoslovakia. Did I pronounce that right? But you know what I'm saying. This pertains to everybody being happy. So everybody lives in some sort of society. Okay, society is not bad. You hear what I'm saying? But society has a way, especially here in the West. We are in the United States, and there's a whole lot of things projected in the media and things that we have to do to be happy in this society here. And so wherever you are in the world, I don't know how it is, but there still is some messaging there about how to live in your society, wherever you are. Okay, so what we are talking about is really breaking free from misguided consumerism. We're talking about getting back to being self-reliant and really getting back to what a real community is. A real community is, hey, learn how to grow your own food, which is what we've been talking about all the time. Other people have been talking about regenerative farming and all of this, but really just talk back to your ancestors. Everybody's great grandmama or somebody was growing some food. You hear me? So now we have young people that are doing urban farming. You got older people that are like, let me sell this house in the city. Let me get back to the rural life. So people are understanding the wisdom of our ancestors. This is whether you Black or Asian or Native American or white, whatever, you know, whatever. Okay. Everybody has some ancestors that had to grow some food. Okay. We all had to grow food and eat and get our bellies to be filled up. Okay. So now we're talking about growing your food, and now we're talking about the news is talking about mass food shortages, not just here in the United States, but other places. So if you grow your own food, you can solve some of that problem. So the next step to being self-reliant in society would be for you to do a food exchange. Hey, I got carrots and peas, but hey, you got tomatoes and onions. Can we do a swap? So let's get back to that. This is what our great-grandparents did. Okay, So you can do that, and that'll cut down on some of this stuff by, everybody's posting about, we don't have any eggs, we don't have this, we don't have that. Okay, so you do that. So for those that don't have access to growing food in at-risk communities, then you say, hey, let me come give you some this. Let us give you some resources. Can we share resources outside of food? Can I repair your house? Can I fix your car? Wait a minute, you can do that? But here, let me come there and set up your garden. You need me to paint something? Do you need help moving somewhere? Do you offer a business or service that I need that I can exchange for something else? You hear what I'm saying? So when we do all these things, then we can get to a place where we are balanced and happy. And it's not based on consumerism. It's not based on this consumerism that leads to this stress because we're trying to be perfect. You hear me? And so Dr. King, if you all saw the post that I made, the excerpt from the book, a rare book that my mother would teach out of. She was a Black history teacher during the time of when they were desegregating the schools. And so I will read to you a portion of this. For those who do not see the post, you can scroll down to the post. I think I made it the day after King holiday. I forget which day, but I'll read to you. Now it is still relevant today. Okay, what he said. And he said this, I believe in I've gone up to the mountain. This is the speech that he said, an excerpt from the day before he was assassinated. So, they had to kill him because he was talking about self-reliance. Okay, let's just be for real. So he says, and I'm quoting, this is page 19. Okay, this is the book. It's a rare book. My mom taught out of this book. And it's called The Words of Martin Luther King, selected by Coretta Scott King, his wife. She was an activist too. Can you see this? Okay, this is a rare book. I don't know if they still sell this book. This is page 19. So you can see what I'm reading from. And he says, because it's 2 paragraphs I'm going to read. And this is where I base tonight's talk on. And it directly relates to the Agnihotra and understanding that we're already perfect in this quote unquote perfect society. That tells us we're not perfect. Okay, so listen to this now. This is what he wrote. Mammoth productive facilities with computer minds, cities that engulf the landscape and pierce the clouds, planes that almost outrace time. These are awesome, but they cannot be spiritually inspiring. Nothing in our glittering technology can raise man to new heights because material growth has been made an end in itself. And in the absence of moral purpose, man himself becomes smaller as the works of man become bigger. Listen to this, that's what he said. Gargantuan industry and government woven into an intricate computerized mechanism leave the person outside. The sense of participation is lost. The feeling that ordinary individuals influence important decisions vanishes, and man becomes separated and diminished. When an individual is no longer a true participant, when he no longer feels a sense of responsibility to his society, the content of democracy is empty. When culture is degraded and vulgarity enthroned, when the social system does not build security but induces peril, inexorably the individual is impelled to pull away from a soulless society. This process produces alienation, perhaps the most pervasive and insidious development in contemporary society. So now do you understand what we're talking about? Imperfection in a perfect society. So we don't need to walk around having to have the perfect job and dress perfect, and you got to speak perfect, and this person didn't say this stuff, and we pick the person apart if they don't look perfect, and blah, 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 and you're supposed to be this person. How come you're saying that? We're too hard on each other because the Creator's not hard on us like that. Okay, so, and I wrote down a couple of notes because I want to make sure I hit on the important things. So we need to go back to community living. We need to go back to community living and doing things like growing the food and all these things, because that is the perfect society where we grow food, we exchange resources. Okay, that reminds us that we are made in the image of Mother, Father, God. Okay, that is the perfect society. We are the perfection of the Creator. This is what King was talking about. That this big technology and big corporations and stuff, he said it diminishes man. We don't feel like we have a purpose. We don't feel like we're part of anything. So what we are talking about is getting back to the perfection of you as a divine creature. Okay, so know that if allow yourself to make some missteps, some mistakes, you know, give each other breathing room. We're too hard on each other. We can make a misstep or a mistake and still be okay and still be nice. And even when we don't act so nice, be kind to each other. And we just gently guide and gently correct and say, here, let me help you to live a better life. This is what we're supposed to do, okay? And just know that you are beautiful. You are handsome. You are divine. You are great. You are magnificent. You are creative, okay? You are wonderful. You are a blessing, okay? And above all, we love each other. I love you, okay? So because we're made in the image of Mother, Father, God, this is what we have to do, okay? And if we all feel this way, not just say it, but feel this way, then you understand that is how you form a perfect society, because then you know that we are already perfect. Society can't say, hey, you're imperfect. Get this to look better, to change your skin, to change your body. Here, you know, if you get this car, this house, you'll be perfect. You see, if you already know that you are perfect, then that is the perfect society. And then we have all these people that know that they are perfect and divine and beautiful and just like a ray of sun. And guess what? Then the society conforms to the group of people because society is made of the people. This is what we're talking about in the new way of being on the planet. So it doesn't make a difference if you live in a tiny shack on the side of the Appalachian Mountains. I know some people that grew up like that. Or if you live in a bigger house in a middle-class neighborhood, or if you have a big giant house, we can all stand to think about these things in society. So when looking at the headlines, you know, we're not disconnected. You hear what I'm saying? We are not disconnected. We're connected. You can look at that person that is crying on the sidewalk. Okay, what did I hear today? And it was so disturbing. 3 homeless people dead in some city. And the woman is on the TV, you know, beautiful white woman saying, this is horrible. They're dying from drug addiction. They're dying right on the sidewalk. And people are up here complaining because they have to step over someone that's homeless because it's interrupting their commerce. And that is wrong. And this woman was crying too on the camera. We're not to do that to each other. We're supposed to say, listen, even if I don't have a place for you to stay, can I help you? Can you cry on my shoulder? What can I do to help you? I don't have much, but let me help you, okay? That's what we're supposed to do, and we're not doing it. So this is not how we were created by God. We don't need to be a king in a castle, okay? You already are a king because you are living in the abode, and your abode is the spiritual castle. Do you hear me? We don't have to step over the homeless people, the 3 people, and I don't know if this is in California. My sister-in-law is from California. She said the tent cities are bad, but that's horrible. 3 people, I think, in 4 days. And this is what we're saying. Since we are already perfect, you hear me? This is how society is supposed to be, okay? We don't have to look to that. So, you know, we act with love. This is the perfect society. We forgive each other, okay? And when you perform Agnihotra to clean up this pollution of the planet, we're cleaning up the pollution of the way we think and act. We're not supposed to be selfish and judgmental, okay? We're supposed to be kind even when someone is on drugs or they're pimping on the street or someone's murdering. These are the ones that need that love and tender care so they can realize that they are too a king in their own castle, that they are a spiritual castle. Okay? So many people are teaching this. Okay? Not just we here at our organization. We're telling everybody to please teach this in whatever congregation or group that you're part of, because we're at that point now where everybody in society, we have to help each other. So we would ask that you first of all love yourself and forgive yourself, okay? And that you extend that love to another person. You know, volunteer, help somebody in your neighborhood, join a volunteer group or whatever, but do something along these lines of saying, hey, you are perfect, I am perfect, we are perfect together in a society that tells us that we are not, and we all are beautiful and great and mighty, okay? And some of our ancestors, no matter who you are, somebody had to grow some food, somebody had to scrabble in the dirt and dig for potatoes, whether it be the Irish people that had, you know, got decimated because of the famine, or whoever, Black, Native American, Asian people, interned, Japanese, whatever. Somebody had to scrabble, whether they were farming or not. Okay? So we are talking about coming back to your natural self. And Agnihotra is the tool in order to restore order to the planet, to the plants, to the trees, to the flowers and the insects and the creatures great and small. Because when we talk about nature, we are talking about you. We all are part of nature. We forget about that. All of nature is inside of us. So what does that make us? We are nature too. So when we poison the planet, we are poisoning ourselves, because the planet is inside of each of us. You understand? They have the scientific studies that say that everything is made from the same thing, from this planet all into the cosmos. So what does that mean? That means God is everywhere. You hear me? God is everywhere. So when you poison the planet, you're poisoning yourself. And so now that you understand, when we have the violent stuff, and so-and-so killed 10 people, so-and-so killed his wife and the children and himself, somebody drove their car off the cliff, and all this craziness, because we're poisoning ourselves. And that is not what Mother, Father, God intended, okay? So now I'm going to leave you with this story, because we like to always gently suggest and gently guide you to find your own answer, okay? We're not to look to any person that is teaching or presenting themselves as an expert. You want to gently guide them to have the experience, to guide them towards a way of harmony. That is the object, not to be like, oh, this is the teacher, the teacher knows everything. No, the teacher is to guide you to your own understanding. And that happens at your own pace, okay? So let's take a story. This is just a story. You can apply it to whatever way you like. So we would talk about it in the old way, and we'll bring it into the new way. So in the old story, okay, there was a group of people. Their village was burned down to the ground. Some marauders came there, burned it down. So they had to go here and there. Hey, could you please take us in? You know, we need a place to go. We don't have anything. We lost everything. We have no food. We need help. So they went to the big village. So like maybe it's 10 miles away. We don't have room. We have food, but, you know, we don't have time to share with you. They said, okay, thank you. So they went on to the next village. It's middle size. They're doing pretty okay. The middle village said, no, we can't help you either. We can't help you either. You know, keep moving. So they had to go another 20 miles. Okay. Then they went to a small village and said, hey, you know, our village was burned down. Can you please help us? Okay, help us. We have nothing. And so those people are like, well, I don't know. We don't have that much. I don't know if I can help you. And this is a little village. They didn't really have anything. Well, you're going to have to keep it going. We can't help you. So then the people, they just went on and on until they find not even a village, but just 2 or 3 people that were just living on, you know, like on the side of a tree near like a little brook or something. They said, guys, we hate to bother you, but we done went to all these cities. Nobody's helping us. Can you just tell us where to go? And you know what these 2 or 3 people did? They said, hey, it started off as one. It was just one of us. This man came to be with this woman and said, I'll help you. What do you need? Can I chop up some wood? Then became 2 people. Then the third person said, well, hey, let me bring my cousin or whatever. So it became 4 people. So they started a little community of helping each other. They looked at this group, and let's say the group was about maybe just a little town that got burned down. So let's say it was 40 people. They said, hey, we don't have anything at all. We have nothing at all, but just come on over here. We'll figure it out. There's a brook right here. Somebody can gather berries. Let's help each other build whatever. We don't have nothing at all, but let's help each other. These 3 people helped the 40 people that went from place to place, the big place that had money, the middle place that had some money, the place that they had, you know, a little bit of money. The only people who would take them in are the ones that had really nothing, and they don't even have a hut. They're living off the side of a tree. You hear me? So that story, let's take it and make it modern. Let's make it modern. So now, wherever you are, just picture this in your city or your town, okay, or your state or province, wherever you live. So now you have a group of people. Their place has been decimated by a flood. There's war and there's drug dealers doing this stuff. As we've seen in the news in the U.S., I mean, some of these cartel people, they are taking people hostage or doing crazy stuff. So let's say you have this group of people that are going away from where they are from because there's no food. There is some unrest because there's the prices are too high, and you know, the crime. They're tired of having to fight off people trying to rape their children and grandchildren. So they said, you know what, we got to get from here. We can't stay here. So they go to one city, maybe the city, or maybe it's another state, and this state is big. Can you help me? And they have money. No, we can't help you. Go on to the next one. We can't help you. They go to the middle income place, state, or whatever you want to call it. Can you help me, please? Well, we do have some money, but, you know, we got a plan for next year's fiscal thing and, you know, blah, 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 local GDP and, you know, all that stuff. Don't know. Okay, but, you know, we're sick. You see, some of us are bleeding and, you know, the children are sick and I don't feel so. They don't care. Here, just go on. Sorry, we can't do it. We decided with the panel of people, we can't do it. So then they go to the small, the next place where the people are poor. Then those people say too, you know, we don't have anything, you know, how you going to be here? We don't have nothing to help you with. Just go on somewhere. Sorry, we can't help you because we got to have stuff for ourselves. We have nothing. And this group is poor. Okay, this group is poor. They bring up a valid point, okay, from their point of view. So then this group happens upon, let's say these people are backpacking, and you've seen these people, they backpack and go to all the national parks and they live out their van, you know, those kind of people. Or, you know, somebody, you know, a friend of mine on my Facebook page, Daniel Swallow, I believe, he lived without money for many years, wrote a book about it. And he just lived I believe he lived in a cave and ate berries and all this. This is a real person. That's a Facebook friend of mine. I've never met him, but we correspond a little bit on Facebook. So he did this in real time, and he's probably in his 60s now. I think he's living now, taking care of his mother that is at the end stage of her journey. So he is living with money because he's taking care of his mother. But so my point is, there's a group of people that live like that. Say, listen, I ain't got nothing, but come on over here so we can get something together. So you see what I'm saying? So now you have formed a community where whoever has nothing, together you have something. Together you have something. So it does not make a difference whether you have a lot of money, a little bit of money, or no money. We're talking about the real attitude of helping someone and loving someone, because what happens to your brother, sister does affect you. Okay. So I just wanted to tell those two stories, one set in the past, you know, okay, talking about villages and stuff, and one set in the present now, to let everybody know this is what we can do, and we can do it with happy heart. Okay, whether we have little money, some money, or a lot of money. Okay, so we're saying all of this to say that we can do anything we set our minds to. Okay, so once you liberate your mind, lift up the veil of ignorance, understand who we really are in our perfection, being in the image of Mother, Father, God, there's nothing that we can't do. Okay, so these are the citizens, okay, of society, of the perfect society based on real community, real love, real kindness. Do you hear what we are saying tonight? That's real community. Okay, and we all can have that. So we're working with women that are having a drug challenge, and soon we'll be working with men that are in prison that have various challenges. So we're saying all of this is that we can do these things with our neighbors and helping them in many different ways. We don't have to go off to a program like we do and help in that way, but we all can find some way to help, to minister. And to minister is just simply to aid. Okay, anybody can minister. Okay, here, let me minister some aid. Let me give you some food. Let me be a kind ear. Okay, have a kind ear for you. Okay, you need a place to stay. I can provide that, but let me see if I know someone that can offer you and your children a place to stay. You need a job. Well, here, I have a little tiny business. I don't have much money, but let me just give you a little something. You can come in 2 days a week. Okay. And then they can still go look for other work, and they have a little bit of money in their pocket. Maybe they don't have to sleep on the street. Okay. Because I don't want to see this anymore. We don't want to see this anymore where people are on the street and being stepped over, and people are spraying them with a hose because they're homeless. Okay. I'm not mentioning the man's name. I think my daughter told me today, because she came to visit, that he was arrested. But, you know, we don't treat each other that, because, like, what did we say before? Nature is everywhere. We are nature. That means there are pieces of God walking all around. Okay. That means that the lady at the cash register, she's a piece of God. Okay. The man that parks your car when you go get the expensive dinner, he's a piece of God. The homeless woman on the street that has a sign saying, "Help me," she's a piece of God. The little child that's acting bad is put in timeout in his kindergarten class. He is a God. He just needs some patience. Okay, don't label him, "Oh, he's that bad kid. Put him over there." Oh, find out what's going on in the family. Maybe someone died or something else or whatever. Or it could be so simple that, you know, he feels alone because he's being treated bad by the neighborhood kids, and so he's acting out. We have to listen and understand. You hear? So this is what it's all about. Understanding that whoever you see, whether they're with a home with 4 levels or whatever, or they're in a home in a tent, that's a piece of God. That is a piece of God. So you are to bow to that piece of God and say, "What can I do to help you? How can I love you?" Okay. So that is the message for this evening. The message that we wanted to share. Okay. And if you want help on how to organize this in a very small way in your community, or in a bigger way if your organization, please give us a call. We will show you how to do this. Okay. You're not alone. The website is shantivillainstitute.com. That's SHANTI Villainstitute.com. The email is shantivillainstitute@gmail.com. And what is the number? Because I don't know the office numbers by heart. This is crazy. I know. Let me give you one of the office numbers. that you can call to for somebody that does not have access to. I know everybody doesn't have access to email. So the office number, hold on, I don't know it by heart. I know I got too many things in my head. So I can tell you in a minute. Don't laugh at me. About to put glasses on now so I can see what it is on here. Okay, so the office number is 404-487-8156. That's 404-487-8156. So if you need help organizing these things, we really suggest you do this individually in your home. But if you really want to organize this in a bigger way in your neighborhood or community, we can show you little simple things to grow your food. Okay, grow natural food with all this chemical crap. Exchange food, okay, between each other, as well as sharing resources and that sort of a thing. But we can share you all these things. And of course, as always, if you would like to learn how to do Agnihotra, you can find someone in your area. We can point out someone in your area that performs Agnihotra, because that does restore the soil and cleanses up the pollution. So if you're in the bad neighborhood, this is a good way to clean up the crime. And some of these neighborhoods are built on top of nuclear dumps and sites. They won't tell you that, and the kids and stuff play nearby. So the Agnihotra, we can point someone to in your area. And as always, if you're at the Conyers location, which is open to the public, we do the demonstration for free. Okay. Our main location at Tuskegee, Alabama, we're closed for renovations. So whatever it is, we will point you in the right direction and help you to organize this. Okay. Organize this. We do have a grassroots green team that we do have, and we can show you how to do that in your city. But like I said, you can do this individually. It doesn't have to be so organized, because it always starts with the individual. But if you're trying to do this on a bigger scale to bring about a real community exchange, okay, what we've been talking about, then we can help you with that too. Okay. So as always, thank you for joining us here. This has been Mother D at Shantivilla Institute, and I look forward to seeing you the next time. Be blessed, and I'll talk to you later.